What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer. Taking a look at Buster Blader today. I played this deck a while ago on the channel, but I used to play with this really heavy Dragoon package, and I decided to go away from that. Dragoon is still, pretty decent card, obviously, but I wanted to change the direction of the deck a little bit. It didn't really work that well with Dogmatica stuff, and for a while I was experimenting with stuff like White Knight of Dogmatica, which is a good card, obviously. It's very good, but you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck, so it kind of was like in direct disagreement with the way the deck works, but it doesn't always end up. It's not the worst thing in the world. As you look at these replays, it's not a horrible tech option. I was just trying to get, as creative as possible when it came to Maximus, but this deck does use a lot of hand resources. That's why I kind of took out Dragoon, as you can see here. Wind Pegasus is just a really good card. He's not going to be able to go into Zeus, which was kind of the big deal there. And off the top, I get actually a really good rip. So this is normally like a pretty decent wall. Can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, but you do have to have two monsters with the same type and attribute with different names. So I go ahead and make sure that it doesn't happen, because Roshi, I think, shares the same stuff as Lulu, or maybe it's the Niang Yang, which is kind of funny, but I was able to assemble lethal pretty quick there. I'll show you a couple of duels where it's kind of my later iterations of the deck where I'm not playing that. Pot of Disparity or Prosperity is a really good tech option in this deck, because there's probably about 9 play starters, and really you want about 12. He's playing windups. I don't even know what windups are even physically able to do. Interesting. Is he playing Totally Awesome, or did I miss it? There he is. Okay. Wow, I have no idea. Okay, wind up Sharks of 4. Interesting. Okay, but the Buster Lock is really good. Like, make no mistake, this deck isn't meta or anything, but this lock is really, really intense. Mostly because like, your opponent can't even attempt to activate their effects. Like, their effects are off, not negated. Like, that unicorn couldn't even discard for cost, which could definitely come up. That's a pretty, you never know if that could happen. This is a couple duels against Lunalight. I think this may have been some of my later ones. This Destruction Sword is a really good normal summon, because it's your entire play. I used to run like Relinquish and stuff, but now I do Salmon Almirage, because if your opponent doesn't play Link monsters, basically you can protect your Buster Dragon from being destroyed at that end phase. Yeah, and this is that duel where I kind of really realized like this can't really work with this. But I mean, it's kind of like they have to get through a couple layers, and then like if they get through that, you still have Prologue. But yeah, mostly it's not good. But being able to dismantle your opponent's extra deck is almost like too tempting. But it'll be for another deck for another time. Okay, so there's a Call by the Grave there, but I do have 2 Droll. So the first or the last Droll activates first, meaning that the effect does go through, and since it's a lingering effect, Call by the Grave doesn't do anything for the 2 Droll there. I thought that was kind of like hilarious. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and activate Ice Dragon's Prison. It's a really good card in this deck, because you do run the Trap Tricks card that sets a normal trap. And you don't always just want it to be Prologue, because either you already have a Prologue in hand or you can't use it. So it's good to have another target. And this card was really popular for a while, and now it like kind of isn't anymore. But I think it could be good again, especially if you're thinking about like Kriston Highlight Fibrax combos with the machine monsters and everything. Wing of Pegasus can go ahead and throw that back. He's going to go ahead and grab this, and White Knight of Dogmatica shining a little bit here again. So again, like I said, it may not be like great synergy, but it does end up working out pretty well. I thought about putting it back in. This is the other duel against Luna Lights. He is playing Twin Twisters, which really isn't a great card against this deck, to be honest with you. I'll go ahead and grab the Nadir Servant, get myself an Ecclesia. Ecclesia can probably grab me the Maximus. I probably should have gone into, this was a mistake, I should have gone into Salmon Almirage and then to Secure Gardena. So that way I could have had that search, although I guess it really wasn't that important. It does have the Nibiru there, which kind of stinks, but I still have Prologue, so The lock is still going to go through, and now I have this big token, relatively big at least. So we'll see if my opponent's able to do anything at all. The Twin Twisters isn't going to do anything. He just sets that and looks to pass. I'll activate, Nadir Servant. I can pop his back row. Kind of a waste, obviously, since I don't have any spells and trap cards, but whatever. Better safe than sorry, because I knew he wasn't going to have any like crazy flip monster effects. That does piercing battle damage, which is really nice. And this should be enough for lethal as well. So pretty quick and easy, even through Nibiru, which is pretty cool too. Okay, so this is against birds of some sort. Okay, I guess Fluenteries, I meant to say. I'll search out the trap there. And then, yeah, that's why I have that. Basically, what I was just talking about. That's why I played Trap Trick, because of this scenario. He goes for the Cosmic Cyclone on the Trap Trick, which is about as good as it gets. It's just a straight -1 for him. And without being able to do anything with his normal summons, I'm pretty sure he's just going to be done for. Okay, but he did have the infinite impermanence, so the Buster Lock isn't persistent, isn't on the field right now persisting. So he goes for the Eaglin. He did have Call by the Grave, but I do also have Imperm there. And he wouldn't be able to get over these monsters, meaning that my lock would have stayed on the field. I would have, really taken over there, which is kind of nice. And, okay, so just a couple more duels. This one's against, like, a Banish deck, which is pretty interesting. It plays Chaos End. It's basically just a Raigeki, but I don't know why you wouldn't just play Raigeki. It's at 3 now. And I really want to see if he is playing 3 Raigeki and 3 of that card. No, he's not. So, yeah, he should just play Raigeki. Unconditional Chaos End, right? It works out here, works out for him there. I'm not saying it's, like, hard to trigger in his deck that he's playing, but obviously, like, you don't want to have to depend on it. Like, might as well just play, like, the actual good card, the actual good version of this card. Plus, it actually only destroys your opponent's monsters, too. Yeah, he really shouldn't be playing this card. He does activate Sangan, which is kind of funny, I suppose. I can poke for 1200. That's going to get destroyed automatically. I have some pretty good setup here, though. So I'm going to set up the Buster Lock in the draw phase. Although I guess you really can activate it at any time. It's whatever. He goes for the Dark Charmer, realizes he can't do anything about it. He tries to, he gets a little bit of damage on Ecclesia. It can't be destroyed because it's a monster from the extra deck. He goes for the Effect Veiler there. It's not going to do anything at all because it's going to gain some attack. So I think this is, I guess he could have waited for the Ecclesia or the increased attack for Fleur. So I don't really know why he did that. I'm going to destroy this so that he basically can only use the effect one more time. It's good to put pressure on him there. Maybe I can help him avoid going into a rank 8. Although I do have the Imperm there because I'm assuming he plays the Jagublian. I forget what it's called. Or maybe he doesn't. Interesting. I feel like that's a big mistake, but okay. Because he's playing a lot of rank 8s. And he's going to go over a couple, like, pretty much all my monsters. So I'm going to still have this Buster Blader, which is pretty interesting because I think, yeah, this gains attack based on, oh, okay. So when I use the effect of Maximus, he actually sent some dragon monsters, which is a really big mistake. He's just giving me, like, a big boosted attack there, but okay. He's going to use the effect once again. I'm going to activate Ice Dragon's Prison here. I'm going to banish the Spellcasters. I thought he had an Access Code Talker in his extra deck, so I was trying to avoid that the best I could. I guess he didn't. I'm going to keep the Maximus alive because I want to be able to send, Psyframe, Omega, and Elder Entity. Really hilarious that those cards can just loop each other forever, so you got a pop per turn, which is always really nice. And pretty cool. I didn't need to do that, but I did end up shuffling with the Psyframe, like, one of my dragons back. So, like, the Buster Blader that he stole lost attack, which is kind of funny. But I think I had way more than enough from lethal anyways. But in any case, there was another card I was experimenting with for a while, and that's Extra Foolish Burial Goods. Unfortunately, you can't set cards, spells, and traps the turn you do that, so it's honestly really not worth it. I was just trying to find one more play starter. I am actually still looking around a little bit. Okay. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to go ahead and negate the Rusty Bardies, which is probably going to put in a tremendous amount of work for me. And considering I do have a dragon in the graveyard, my plays will at least be explosive next turn. But like I said, it's a really wonky tech choice, one that you would maybe think of off the top of your head to kind of solve some of the problems, but it just doesn't work out that well. And I top deck the Buster Whelp, which is kind of funny. I don't really need it, actually. It's kind of just a little bit silly. Okay, so we did have the Imperm there, not knowing, of course, that I already had 2 copies in my hand. And, you know, when this goes off, like, the duel's just simply over. This is such a good art of Buster Blader, too. This deck's awesome because of the artwork more than anything. Okay, so he's going to go ahead and normal summon the Torn Scales. Can't use the effect. Even if he did go into Access Code Talker, he can't activate. Like I said, cannot activate the effect. It's not negated. It's just shut off completely. And that was just the end of the duel for sure. He did have Solemn Judgment, but that's not going to do anything, of course. So yeah, that was a little gameplay video. I'm going to do the deck profile, you know, probably tomorrow. And then I'll show some more gameplay videos with the definitive version. That way it makes a little more sense. But I just wanted to get this out there, see what you guys think about Buster Blader, see what cards you're playing in there. But other than that, that's going to do it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time.